My name is Claire, 28-year-old. The Boston Public Library ain't just a building. It's a living, breathing archive of centuries, its marble halls echoing with the ghosts of a million stories. I move through it daily, Clara, a guardian of its quiet secrets, finding solace in the dust motes dancing in slanting sunlight and the rhythmic hush of turning pages. My world is ordered, predictable, a sanctuary of knowledge and solitude. Until him. Rain lashed against the library's grand windows, turning the afternoon into an ominous twilight. My usual peace fell brittle. Then he arrived, Matthew, a researcher with eyes the color of storm clouds and an intensity that seemed to vibrate the air around him. He wasn't like the others. He moved with a quiet purpose, radiating a focused energy that made the ancient stacks feel suddenly charged. His request was simple: access to the restricted Alderman collection, specifically the uncatalogued personal correspondence of a minor, enigmatic 18th century shipping merchant. My professional calm faltered. Those boxes were a notorious mess, a labyrinth of crumbling paper and faded ink. A knot of apprehension tightened in my chest. Days dissolved into a strange new rhythm. Matthew became a constant presence. He arrived precisely at 9, his quiet good morning, Clara a soft punctuation in the hushed atmosphere. I navigated the labyrinthine storage for him, pulling dusty boxes, handling brittle documents with gloved hands. He sat for hours, utterly absorbed, deciphering looping script under the dim light of the archival lamps. His focus was magnetic, almost intimidating. I found myself watching the subtle furrow in his brow, the way his long fingers carefully turned a fragile page. My sanctuary felt invaded, yet curiously alive. One rain-swept Thursday, frustration etched his features. A crucial journal entry was illegible, water-damaged centuries ago. He slid the open journal towards me, a sullen plea in his stormy eyes. Our shoulders brushed as I leaned in, close enough to catch the scent of old paper and will on his coat. The faded script swam before me. Minutes stretched, filled only by our shared breath and the drumming rain. Then, a pattern emerged from the chaos of ink blots. A tiny, triumphant gasp escaped me. His gaze snapped to mine. In that suspended moment, surrounded by the ghosts of the past, a spark ignited. It was fierce and undeniable. The discovery unlocked a cascade. We became partners in the quiet chase, piecing together the merchant's hidden life. Late evenings bled into nights. The vast emptiness of the reading room became our intimate world. We worked side by side, the only sounds the scratch of his pen, the rustle of paper, and my own heartbeat sounding too loud in the stillness. The air between us thickened with unspoken things. A shared thermos of coffee passed between us felt like a secret pact. His knuckles brushing mine while reaching for the same document sent electric jolts up my arm. The merchant's story unfolded, a tale of forbidden love and dangerous choices across the Atlantic. It felt like a mirror held up to our own silent tension. We saw the parallels. We didn't speak them. The weight of his gaze on me as I deciphered a particularly poignant letter became a tangible thing. My skin prickled with awareness. The library's familiar shadows deepened, hiding us, holding us. The past wasn't just on the pages anymore. It was swirling round us, pulling us into its current. One evening, the final piece clicked. Matthew found the missing link, a hidden compartment in a ledger revealing the merchant's desperate gamble for love. He looked up, his eyes blazing with the thrill of discovery. They met mine, and the intensity shifted. The academic triumph faded, replaced by something raw and immediate. He stood. So did I. The space between our desks felt vast and infinitesimal. The silence wasn't quiet anymore, it hummed. Centuries of whispered secrets pressed in around us. His hand lifted, hesitated, hovering near my cheek. My breath caught, trapped in my throat. The entire library seemed to hold its breath. The jarring clang of the ancient heating pipes kicking on shattered the moment. We flinched apart like startled birds. Color fluttered his cheeks. I busied myself with suddenly fascinating file folders, my hands trembling. The air crackled with awkwardness and the lingering echo of what almost happened. The spell was broken, but the library's quiet embrace felt different now. Charged. Waiting. He didn't come the next day. Disappointment, sharp and cold, settled in my bones. Had I imagined it all? Had the merchant's ghostly romance merely bewitched me? The familiar stacks felt hollow, the silence oppressive. I traced the spines of untouched books, my thoughts a chaotic whirlwind of Matthew's storm cloud eyes and the nearness of his touch. The library's magic had turned to ash. Then, late afternoon, the heavy oak door groaned. He stood there, silhouetted against the fading light, a hesitant question in his stance. He walked towards my desk, not the research tables. No files in his hands. Just a single, perfect crimson maple leaf, vibrant against the aged leather of an open book on my desk. A silent offering. A promise plucked from the Boston autumn outside. His eyes found mine, holding a vulnerability I hadn't seen before. The unspoken words hung thick in the dusty air. The forgotten pages had whispered their secrets. Now it was our turn. The story, our story, was just beginning its first fragile chapter. The crimson leaf lay between us, a silent explosion of color on the weathered ledger. My fingers trembled as I reached out, not for the leaf, but hovering above it, mirroring his earlier hesitation. The air vibrated with everything left and said during weeks of shared focus and stolen glances. His hand, resting on the desk edge, was close. So close. The library's usual chill seemed to retreat, replaced by a warmth radiating solely from him. He didn't move to take my hand. Instead, his gaze remained locked on mine, intense and searching. It wasn't just about the leaf or the merchant's solved mystery. It was about the invisible thread that had woven itself around us amidst the dust and ancient paper. The quiet desperation I saw in his stormy eyes mirrored my own yearning for connection in this vast, silent space. The weight of his vulnerability was terrifying, beautiful. A soft sigh escaped me, barely a whisper, but it seemed to break the final barrier. Slowly, deliberately, his hand shifted, not to grasp mine, but to cover it where it rested near the leaf. His skin was warm, his touch tentative yet solid. An electric current, far stronger than any accidental brush, surged through me. It was a simple contact, profound in its quiet declaration. The world narrowed to the point where his skin met mine, the vibrant red of the leaf beneath our joined hands, and the quiet thunder of my own heart. We stayed like that, suspended in the library's timeless embrace. No grand confession filled the air, only the shared understanding that thrummed between our palms. The centuries-old secrets surrounding us felt less like ghosts and more like approving witnesses. Outside, the Boston autumn deepened, but within these walls, something fragile and potent had unfurled. It felt like the first true sentence written in a story we were only beginning to comprehend. He finally moved, not breaking the contact, but gently turning my hand over. His thumb traced a slow, deliberate line across my palm. A silent question. A silent promise. Then, his gaze lifted again, holding mine with a newfound certainty. A small, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips. Without a word, he picked up the crimson leaf and carefully placed it within the pages of the merchant's final, fateful ledger, the book where the man's own risky gamble for love had been recorded. Closing the cover, Matthew slid the book gently towards me. His hand lingered for a heartbeat on the worn leather. Then, he turned and walked towards the grand oak doors. He paused, silhouetted once more against the fading light, and looked back. Not at the books, not at the research. Only at me. One deliberate nod. And then he was gone. The library settled back into its profound silence, but the space he left behind wasn't empty. It was charged with the thrilling, terrifying echo of a story just beginning, its next chapter waiting to be written. The ledger, holding its leaf and its centuries-old secret, felt warm beneath my hand.